Hello and welcome to the Cardboard Guide. What should you buy in Flesh and Blood if you want to crack some boxes? Of course you should always buy singles, remember that. But if you just want that lucky feel of the pack and you want to open some boosters, what should you be buying? First thing you should know is that in Flesh and Blood you have standalone sets and you have supplemental sets. And of course you want to have the full Flesh and Blood experience, you should buy the standalone boxes.
Exactly. And which boxes to buy, that depends on what hero you're interested in playing. There is something called Talisha, and this is an online experience where you get to play the game and can try out different heroes. I would highly recommend to try and go and play that to figure out what kind of playstyle and what hero you like to play. If you figured that out already, then you can have a look down in our description. We will list all of the different boxes, all of the standalone sets and all of the supplemental sets, and let you know which hero goes in which set. Because if you're interested in Icelander, it's going to be one particular release. If you're interested in Lexi, it's going to be a different release. So depending on your hero, you go and buy that specific box because that's going to have your equipment and all of the awesome different spells that you can play with that hero.
If you just want to have a good all-around feel to the game, you should buy the historic pack. But beware that the historic pack have white bordered cards. So if you're not into that, stay away from that product.
Each of the different releases we've had so far in Flesh and Blood focuses on a specific storyline taking place on a specific place in the world of Rathe. The world of Rathe consists of different kingdoms and different regions. We have, for example, the newest set, Dynasty, that takes place in the realm of Volcor, which is a kingdom, and therefore all the different characters and the cards will have the flavor that fits that region. Different draconic things, it has the assassin, which is the new exciting hero, and just like that, we also have the Tales of Aria going on in a different location and having a much more light and bright feel to it in terms of flavor and the art. You can also sort of pick the hero which fits the flavor and the theme that you want. Again, go have a look in the description to see which of the heroes pop up in which of the sets.
When you open boxes in Flesh and Blood, you can find equipment that is armor pieces or weapon pieces that you are using for your hero, and you can find these equipment pieces in all rarities. Of course, the higher the rarity, the more valuable this equipment is. Be aware that if you're drawing a legendary or marvel equipment piece, these are really valuable cards. Hang on to those, at least until you know what you're going to play. Equipment pieces are the most valuable cards in Flesh and Blood, so when you're building your deck, try to focus on what you need and what you need to buy if you're trading for singles, because when you open a box you're going to get a lot of the cards you need, and what you are probably missing at that point are some of those great equipment cards. So either trade or buy singles, or just use the more common variants of the equipment cards for your hero, so you can just go out and play and have some fun with Flesh and Blood. Last thing, if you can afford it, and we know not everybody will be able to, but if you can, try to buy a whole case of Flesh and Blood, because if you buy a sealed case, you are going to have the greatest of odds to pull some of these legendaries or marvel pieces of equipment, and that reduces the overall cost you have to pay when you open boxes.
So as Jens said earlier, you can get the historic packs if you want to get a hold of some of the staples, because there is a better pull rate for some of the very good cards in Flesh and Blood. But if you don't like the white bordered cards and you want to have a more feel of a set, I would recommend that you go and buy Welcome to Rathe Unlimited, or first edition if you really want to spend some big bucks, but that's very expensive. So if you get the Welcome to Rathe Unlimited version, you're going to be able to get some cards for some of the really popular different classes in the game. There's a lot of great stables, a lot of good cards, so you can have a lot of fun. Also, if you want to draft, I think it's a really fun draft experience in Welcome to Rathe. It's been recommended by a lot of people. So personally, my choice for buying a box, if it's the first box that you're going to go out and buy, I would get a Welcome to Rathe Unlimited.